Well, Senator JD Vance accepting the GOP's nomination for the vice presidency at the Republican National Convention. During his speech, Senator Vance looked to win over the working class by blasting Wall Street.
Wall Street barons crashed the economy and American builders went out of business. As tradesmen scrambled for jobs, houses stopped being built. The lack of good jobs, of course, led to stagnant wages. We're done, ladies and gentlemen, catering to Wall Street.
We'll hear from former President Donald Trump today, where he will accept his nomination as the Republican nominee. For more on what we want to hear tonight, what we might hear tonight, Yahoo Finance's very own Rick Newman is here. And Rick, when we talk about what we could hear from Trump, I'm just curious your reaction to what we heard from Vance last night, obviously sticking to many of the talking points that we had anticipated him to do and really doing everything he can, it seems like, to win over that working class.
So those clips you played, when I heard him say that last night, I had to stop for a minute and ask myself, what exactly is he talking about? Wall Street has not crashed the economy lately. The economy is actually doing pretty well. We're hitting record highs in the stock market until recently. I think he's talking about 2008, when, by the way, George W. Bush was president. He's talking about the housing bust. And then he says, we are done catering to Wall Street. Is he saying that the Biden administration is catering to Wall Street? I don't think so. Biden wants to raise the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%. So my takeaway here is these are talking points that might sound okay to some voters. In reality, the Trump campaign is kind of doing the opposite. They are actually sort of catering to Wall Street. Trump wants to cut the corporate tax rate, not raise it. He reportedly told oil executives earlier this year that they could have any policy they want under a second Trump administration if they could raise $1 billion for his campaign. And we've got tech moguls like Elon Musk, who seem to be the people who put JD Vance into the vice presidential role for the Trump campaign. So we're going to get more, obviously, from Trump tonight, and then we've got about 4 months of campaigning to go. But those were some curiosities, let's say, of JD Vance's acceptance speech.
I also want to talk about President Biden testing positive for COVID-19 as we continue to hear reporting about calls for him to step down. Right now, a lot of those calls are private. We're hearing reports that Biden is becoming more receptive to those calls. Do you think that his COVID diagnosis potentially leads to those calls becoming more public from officials looking for Biden to step down within the Democratic campaign?
I mean, Biden obviously is having a terrible summer, and it's like catching COVID when everybody else is out at going to the beach and going on vacation. It just sort of symptomizes what's wrong with the Biden campaign. The latest reports here, I mean, it's been a drip, but the latest reports are that senior Democrats now, including Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader in the House, and Chuck Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader, are basically telling Biden that if he continues to campaign, if he's the nominee, he could bring down Democrats in both houses of Congress, and we could have a Republican sweep. And reportedly, Biden is now thinking a little bit more that he needs to take this seriously. Some analysts think the dam is breaking. Biden, however, is extremely stubborn and very proud, it's worth saying. And we'll see what happens. I mean, I think we're probably above 50% likelihood that Biden withdraws. It's going to have to happen within the next 3 weeks or so, I would say. So once the Republican convention is over, I think that's going to be the big political story.
All right, Rick, always appreciate your insight. Thanks so much for hopping on with us this morning.
Bye, guys.